Welcome back to the Course Formers YouTube channel. This is your daily best bet video for Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. Before we dive into our best bet, we have to recap a little bit of what happened last night in college basketball. It was a horrendous night for the Big Ten. First off, it started with Penn State, who went on the road to UMass and lost by 25 points. A very rough outing for Micah Shrewsbury in his first road game as head coach. Then we had the shock of the night as number 10 Illinois fell at Marquette 67-66. The Illini had to play without Kofi Cockburn, who was finishing up his 3-game suspension for weird NIL stuff. NCAA suspended him because he was selling stuff in June, and then they allowed the NIL stuff in July. So, I mean, it's stupid that he was suspended, but it definitely cost them this game. I came into this game thinking that an Illinois loss wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world, and I probably wouldn't even care too much about it, and I would just take it off because Cockburn didn't play. However, there were major issues. The Illini turned the ball over 26 times. 26. That means every third possession they had, they turned the ball over. Andre Curbelo had a nightmare of a game as he led the team with 7 turnovers. Trent Frazier carried the Illini for most of the game. He had 23. Despite these issues, Illinois had a 12-point lead with about 10 minutes to go. However, Marquette was able to claw their way back, forcing turnovers and hitting. Shout out to my guy Darryl Morcell, the Maryland transfer, who has been the best player on Marquette so far this year. Of course, he was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last year, and ever since going to Marquette, he's dropped 21, 27, and then 21 in tonight's upset victory. Those numbers all would have been his career high, as his previous career high was 19 in a game last year against Illinois. The Big Ten's issues didn't stop there, as Providence went into the Kohl Center and secured a 63-58 victory. Wisconsin was without Jonathan Davis in this game, and that really impacted the Badgers, as Brad Davison was really the only guy who was able to keep the offense moving in the first half. Davison pitched in 14 of the Badgers' 23 in the first half, and he finished the game with 25 points. Nate Watson was able to dominate all of the Wisconsin bigs that were thrown at him. He ended the game with 24. We're 2 matchups into the Gavitt Games tip-off, and the Big East currently holds a 2-0 lead. In the 2 games tonight, we have Creighton at Nebraska. Nebraska's a 3-point favorite, and we have Seton Hall at Michigan. Right now, Michigan is an 8.5-point favorite. That brings us to our best bet, where, of course, we did have the Providence Friars plus 6.5, and of course, they did get the job done outright. That brings our record to 5-2 on the year, and our season profit up to $280. For tonight's best bet, we are taking the Oregon Ducks -4 in Portland as they take on the BYU Cougars. This is a pretty fascinating matchup to me. Oregon is a super talented team. They had a bunch of transfers come in, including Davion Harmon, Jacob Young, to go along with their key cog, Will Richardson. Dana Altman, of course, is back with the Ducks, and he's going to implement his matchup zone, which is going to give teams nightmares, especially this BYU team. BYU has an elite guard in Alex Barcelo, but they don't have much help around him. I think the matchup can kind of get Barcelo out of the game and make others have to beat them, and I think Oregon's going to be able to shut BYU's offense down. This is a really good coaching matchup between Altman and Mark Pope. However, I just think Oregon's too talented, and Altman's going to draw up a scheme that's going to give BYU fits. So we're backing the Ducks in this spot when they should have a huge home court advantage, despite the game being in Portland. This line is available at the Caesar Sportsbook, and we're going to be betting 110 to win 100. That's all we have for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe.